Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome once again to Geography 3720 North America. I wanted to make a second welcoming video for you. If you haven't seen the first one yet in the first link about going over the syllabus, please look at that first. What I wanted to do with you is to talk about a few things with regards to blogging and creating your own WordPress site. So I wanted to show you a few things that I have on the uh, Canvas web page. Now I'm in a student view at the moment, which is kind of cumbersome for me, but I didn't want you to have to see all the stuff that I had on my screen. So I'm just going to wing it here. I may have to switch off of this. If you look over on the left-hand side of the screen, we're in Canvas, and here's the navigation plane, syllabus you've looked at, the announcements will be coming up, and there's a place where it says modules. There's another place where it says assignments and discussions and so forth. I want to take a look in modules for right now. Now, I'm recording this before the start of the semester, so all of these items might not be available in student view, but let's take a look at. All right, so in the first week, I have several items. There's a link there that says objectives that tells you the big picture that we're going to accomplish the first week of the course, which mostly is creating your WordPress account and getting you started with some other things. That's the biggest part of it. There's also an introductory states and capitals quiz, but it's not due this week. And also there's a 3-hour movie that I want you to watch to fill up some of the class time as well. But that's not due this week either. And also, I want to remind everybody that please try to contact me sometime during the week, either by email or phone call. We could arrange a WebEx and so forth. Generally, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons are the best time to phone in or have a WebEx. All right, so that's the objectives for the week. A big part of it is to create your website. And I'm going to go back to modules here. And there's a place where it says read this first. And so let me bring that up. Okay, so there's some important things that you need to consider before you create your website. Um, let's say I'll just go by this list here, and that'll remind me. There's a few things. One thing that I'd like you to do is to have an alternative email available, not your UNCP Brave Mail. Now, for the purpose of creating this free WordPress website, I wanted you to have a alternative email because I wanted to maintain your privacy. So I suggest using that. Also, another thing that you need to do before you get started, it would be good to have these written down or some files saved. You need to choose a pen name, an author name that you will go by. Again, that's a privacy concern that as a blogger, you have this website and your readers don't know that you're doing this for a class. I'd prefer it if you didn't tell your readers that you're doing this for a class. So you're somewhat anonymous. You're somebody that just does this type of thing. So you need to have a pen name for yourself. Mark Twain's already been taken. And also some potential website names that you might use, and also some taglines or bylines or other secondary titles that you might want to use as well. For example, I had a teaching blog that I called From Maple Forest to Rice Paddies. I changed it from equatorial ice caps to polar deserts. That's my current one. But you need to come up with an interesting name for your website. All right. For example, If you were a geoenvironmental major and you were all interested in sustainability issues, then you might call your blog something like John's Recycled Truth, because you're recycling the truth. Because everybody knows what we need to do. It's a matter of me telling you again, pointing this out to you, or the like. So that's the name. Or, for example, if you wanted to make your blog more like a travel blog, you might call it Big Regions, Big Concepts, and so forth. So think along the lines of a good title for your blog. Also, something that you need to have ready before you go to WordPress.com and create your free site. You probably want to have a few files available. You want to have a few image files that you might use for a logo or background image. So have a folder of images that are along a theme that describes you. You know, if you're looking at sustainability, then I suppose some sustainability photos. Or if you're doing something that has more of a travel theme to it, you know, exotic locations and so forth. Whatever the case may be, and a lot of it depends on your interests, and you're going to have to think about that before you create your free account. It's better to have these in advance. Now, you can change these things down the line, but I'd like you to be prepared as much as possible. Have something written up in advance about yourself, because your first blog post is an introduction to your readers and what your blog is all about. You can make those changes later. I strongly suggest watching one of the tutorial videos. If you go to YouTube and look up WordPress free tutorial, free website, and so forth, you can come up with a number of these. So watch a couple, three of those, and see what types of suggestions that they make. All right, you ought to be able to create your free WordPress.com website this week. That's the major objective of this week. Now, I will help you with that as much as you might need it. Once I give you the directions, you may be able to do it on your own, or we could have a phone call about it. They say that WordPress is the most common free blog creation website. Millions of people have done this. If I can have a cop out, I'd say, well, any junior level college students ought to be able to go to WordPress.com and follow the on-screen directions and create a basic website. Now, I can't make a video about creating a website all that easily, because I've created mine and I want to create another one. I'd rather walk you through doing that. That's fine, and we could meet one-on-one about that. So having said that, you ought to be able to follow the on-screen directions at WordPress.com and make the video. Having said that, I am willing to work with you one-on-one. We could meet face-to-face. We could go down to the cartography lab and create your account down there. We could WebEx about it and so forth. Make an appointment, see me in my office. Now, if you're coming to my office, though, make sure you bring your laptop if that's the main computer you'll be working from. In the past, students have always been working with these from your laptop. Keep in mind, it's very much okay to ask for help. All right, let me go back and see some other things in modules that you'll need to be welcomed in. I have a few things. So you can go, under the module 1, the first week, there is a link to the WordPress site. You can go there. You can take a look at my teaching blog. Let me know what you think about that. There's some information about watching that 3-hour movie, States and Capitals and so on. They're not all due this week. You can see under the module, it gives you the due date. The main thing that's due this week is I want you to create your account and I want you to make your first post. So let's take a look at that. Oh, it's locked. Well, let me get out of student view then, because that's not going to come on until Monday. Leave the student view. All right, now you're seeing what I see. All right. All right, so a few items. Some of these things I think I might have just told you here. Your first post. That's your first blog assignment. One of the 12 blogs that you will make. All right, so the first thing you do, create an account. You've already done that. Within WordPress, they have what they call themes. These are the designs or the pre-made designs and layouts that you can choose from, and they have several themes to them. After you create your WordPress account, you'll be promoted to create your first post. And I think by default, it's called The Journey Begins, and there's a picture of an ocean or something like that, and then you have a paragraph under there. So do that, write your first article. Your first article will be, telling everyone about yourself and your interests. Share with you what you will. I always tell students, don't give out personal information, but what is this blog about? All right, or what are you all about? What are your interests? You should be able to write a paragraph or two. Make sure that one way or another you stick geography in there. Okay, this will be your easiest article to write. Again, I think there's a default WordPress image for the first post, and a beach or something like that. I suggest that you change that and put in an image of something that you're interested in. A map might be something good to have that. All right, so make that post. Something else that you need to do as part of this assignment is that I want to make sure that you visit the other student web pages. By the end of the week, they should all be up. And so you can visit them, put a like on their article. You have to make sure that your blog enables likes and enables comments as well. Maybe we could take a look at mine. Oh, make sure to follow me. Here's a link to, this is my teaching blog. I forget what they call this theme, but it's one of the free themes. Okay, so my blog's called From Equatorial Ice Caps to Polar Deserts. I made this logo up. I made that up in PowerPoint, the Geography, Culture, and Science. And then there's some articles you can hang down through there. You can read the articles, and off to the side there's something that's called widgets. You can put things like links to YouTube videos, so you can have a video in there. You could have your video of the week and so forth. You can post a graphic. Here I have my great book suggestion of the month, and so forth. Here, there are a number of things that you can put in there. And so you scroll down here, you can see my articles. Now there's a lot of different types of layouts. Some of them have more like a menu type system with a layout, or like a newspaper like layout. This one I have all my articles in a list from top to bottom, but there are other ways to design it. I encourage you not to imitate me if you don't want to. All right, so you'll be looking at that a little bit more. There's mine. Yeah, try previewing a number of different themes. You can create your post and you can try it out on one theme, and then you can ask yourself, well, how would it look on this theme? And how would it look on this other theme with different color layout and so forth? There's a lot of options in there. Adds your images, widgets, and so forth. Something else that you should do when you create your first post is search the tags. Your tags are the categories of your articles, and generally when you write an article, you tag it in one way or the other, such as I follow tags such as cartography, geographic education. So when I go to my main page, I can see a list of everything that somebody has written about cartography, or everything that somebody has written about North America. And I follow a number of WordPress bloggers as well. A lot of the ones I've followed, they last about a few months, and then they don't blog anymore. That's okay. You may find that. But what you'll do is you'll follow all of the other students, and you'll follow my blog as well, and then I'm going to follow yours, and all the other students are going to follow your blog as well. But you may want to follow some of the other WordPress bloggers. For example, some of them that write about an environmental issue that you're concerned with. Well, you might want to follow that blogger. Or if there's some item of popular culture that you like, well, you might want to follow that blogger. Or somebody that writes about art, well, you might want to follow that blogger, and that way you get in your feed on your website that you see what's been posted in those tags. So it's always useful to make sure that you have your articles tagged in a way. Now, remember that as we're doing this, you're doing this not as if you are a student in a class doing this for a grade. It's because this is what you do. It's because you're a writer, okay? And that's your persona, is your blog. All right. Now you will be interacting with the public. I mean, this is a type of social media. If somebody is rude to you, you can delete them and you can block them and so forth. I strongly suggest not putting any personal information out there. It's not Facebook. Okay. Now, if you want to share your blog website with your family and friends, that's fine if you want to do that. But I would say err on the side of caution, and that's why I think that everybody should select a good pen name and go with that. Also, after you create your account and you create your first post, you can check out some of the options in help. You might find some things that you want to add and some tips for your blog. Okay, that's I think about all I want to say about the first one. The first day of class, you've got a lot of reading to do. Read the syllabus over, read everything that I've posted for the first day. I'll be in my office every afternoon after 3 o'clock, usually before then, but I have an office hour about 3 to 5. I have a class on Tuesday, Thursday at 5, so I'm always in before that. Feel free to call into the office, send me an email of when you can meet and so forth. I'd be happy to talk to you. So I'm looking forward to this class and looking forward to seeing what types of websites you create and what your articles are like. And I hope that you'll be able to find your voice for blogging in this course.